you do in between games now and see what that does for us. I think our guys are confident that they're a very good team, meaning Michigan is, but that we just got to stop those little lulls, especially at the end of the first half, and see if that can make a difference.
We'll start with questions. We'll go first to Chris Solari.
I'm wondering, does this, when you play your rival this close together, because I don't feel like you've done that, maybe not this close together. I mean, does it take on kind of a tournament feel in terms of prep right now for you guys as a staff and as a group?
Yeah, it sort of does, because I mean, but in a tournament, the 1 day turnaround or 2 day turnaround is usually a completely different team. So when you play the same team again, it looks more like the NBA playoffs than it does college. And it doesn't happen that way very often. So I would say that, the prep we had today was to review some of the film, review some of their plays, and review a lot of what we think we got to do offensively a better job of. And that's what we'll continue to do tomorrow and see if that'll make a difference on Sunday.
Go next to Kyle Austin.
Tom, probably not foremost on your mind, but senior day, it is on Sunday. Any sense of what that's going to look like and what it's going to mean for Josh?
We really don't have a senior. Josh went through it last year.
Okay.
And so he didn't want to go through it again. And he's really our only senior. So kind of a strange deal. Even the two managers that are seniors went through it last year. So it's going to be a strange senior day for us. And I don't know. I mean, we're looking at a few things, but, other than maybe doing a little something for Josh, he kind of went through it and knows he went through it and feels comfortable with that. So, I haven't totally decided, as dumb as that sounds. If we do, it'll be something small. But most importantly, no seniors other than Josh, who's already been through it.
Go next to Lindsey Huddleston.
Hey, Tom, I'm just curious, with that short road trip, coming back, did that rob you of some time to reflect, or was it okay because it allowed you to get back to the lab sooner?
Yeah, in all honesty, Lindsey, it gave me a time to watch the film, and I watched the film and it made me nauseous because I just thought we did some things that we didn't need to do, and especially offensively, I thought we got in a situation where we didn't think we were running the offense right. We changed people, and Aaron and Josh, that's the problem with trying to play them at the point. It really wears you down. So we've got a couple other things figured out we're going to do, but it gave me a good chance to watch it, gave me a good chance to reflect immediately on it. It gave me a good chance to watch what I thought, calls I questioned, things like that. Yeah, it was good. It was hour was perfect. There's enough time to reflect and enough time to move forward.
Great, thanks.
We'll go back to Chris Solari.
I wanted to kind of touch on Josh a little bit. Obviously, he did go through senior day last year, but the journey from last year when you said he was kind of contemplating giving up basketball to this point where he's logging 35 minutes a game down the stretch. I mean, could you have ever envisioned that? And where does that maybe rank in terms of some of the better stories for seniors that you've had in your career?
That's a great question, Chris. I would think that it ranks on the top. I mean, I don't know if I've ever had a guy that actually for almost 2 years thought he might never play again. And as you say, this time last year, I'd say it was 1090 that he would play again, not much of a chance, and hadn't even really made the decision until the summer that he was going to give it a real shot. And then when the summer came, it was still so gradual. And to think of where he is and what he's been through, even last night, I mean, and then to put him through this gauntlet of 7 games in 15, 16, whatever it is, makes it even harder on him. And he went through COVID. I mean, he's almost like a walking miracle. And I don't want to use that term like that because there's some people that truly, truly are miracles. But when I look at Josh and what he's done, and we've thrown some leadership responsibility on him, we threw some things on him offensively, defensively. We had him play the point some. He is playing in the 30s now minutes a game. He's got to do it at both ends. My respect for him, as I told you last week, was off the charts. I just think he is one of the great senior day stories, or double senior day stories. And I'm a lucky guy to have coached him. And I mean that because talk about perseverance and learning how to get up one more time than you're knocked down. I mean, he got up, got knocked down, got up, got knocked down, got setback, surgery, setback. And I swear to you, it was October. And I did not think, I was really getting excited that we'd get him for 15 minutes a game in October. And then all of a sudden, it was 20 some, and then it just ratcheted up and looked like it was going to be smooth sailing. And, as they say, God only gives you what you can handle. And he got knocked back again with COVID, and that was 20 days and, a couple weeks recovery. And here he is just in time to play a couple games, get his feet under him again, and then go through the 7-game gauntlet. And I'm not sure many guys could have done it. I'm not sure anybody's done it in my career here. So I'd say that would might rank right on the top, to be honest with you.
We've kind of joked a little bit about it that, I mean, if he decided to take a COVID year, he could come back for year 6. And if he tried to appeal, he'd go for year 7. I mean, that's amazing in itself, but I would imagine that pro basketball is the next thing he probably wants to chase at.
Him and I are going to sit down. I mean, I think he does. He's just got to make sure that he's perfectly healthy. And what would, I guess, a COVID year mean to him as far as to get him prepared to play beyond? I mean, all those things are a little more realistic. You could look at it as, hey, should he get his time to try to go? I would say yes. Would another year under his belt, total health, because he is healthy, give him the best chance? Those are something that Josh and I and his mom and dad will talk about. But it's been fun to watch him go through it. It's been fun to watch him in the success of going through it, I should say. And hard not to be proud of Josh Langford. He's a good role model for a lot of guys. Load management is not part of his. It's not in his dictionary. That's for sure.
We'll go next to Audrey Dahlgren.
Hey, Tom, this isn't a warm and fuzzy question like that one, but going 0 for 9 from 3 yesterday, you said you didn't get to move the ball as well as you wanted to. A lot of the time those threes come in transition for you guys. So how do you hope to improve upon that come Sunday?
Well, we hope to run a little bit better, but moving the ball is, they do come in transition. As you saw in the Indiana game, Gabe hit 2 big ones in transition. Aaron got 1, but they also come by moving the ball. And I just thought the second half, we looked tired. We probably were a little down because we did some, what I would call things that didn't make sense there, and frustration. And I don't think we handled that real well. So I think there's a combination of things, but I think we moved the ball better, run a little bit more. And, the 0 for 9, it almost excites me that we only took 9, because sometimes you get in a game like that and you just start firing threes. We've had that happen to us too. But guys hung in there with it. I think we'll shoot better. We'll be at home. Hopefully that'll help.
Great, thanks.
We'll go next to Kyle Austin.
I'm just kind of wondering where things stand with Rocket. How have you seen him respond to, after what happened last night, and looking at that play, and where does he go?
It's as I told you a week ago, I think the hardest part for a guy who seems like he scored a lot in high school, there was no question that his defense led to his offense last year. I think everybody would agree to that. Didn't shoot much different a percentage, but he was so good defensively. And that's what I told him. I thought he's lost his tenacity. And you look at things and you you kind of show them. But actually, he had a pretty good day today. So, you know, I don't totally know. I just know that he's got to play better and I got to coach better. And those two things got to happen. And we're going to find a way to make them happen.
We'll go next to Graham Couch.
Tom, I'm wondering what the advantage of there must be no better scout team than actually playing your opponent 72 hours before you play them again. And what you're able to learn from that you maybe couldn't in a normal setting. Like, are there things that from the original scout that you go, this doesn't work, this did, let's try this?
I think I told you, Graham, that, you know, when I had my little looks at the NBA, my NBA buddies, you know, like Doc Rivers or Flip Saunders at the time, or, you know, there were 2 or 3 guys. And the one thing they said you'd love about the NBA, you wouldn't love the travel, you wouldn't love the losing streaks, but you'd love the playoffs if you got there, because best of 7 is a big chess match. You know, you play a game, next day you go back and you say, okay, what did you do well? How do you think they're going to take that away? What did you not do well? How are you going to change that? And we did a lot of that last night when we got back, and this morning, you know, on a couple of things. We didn't think we needed major improvements really on the defensive end at all. On the offensive end, you know, they played good defense, take nothing away from them, but we played bad offense, and the ball movement in that, and you know, what we did from the point is not acceptable. So we're going to have to do a better job of that. But it is kind of interesting. For the first time I've ever had to deal with it, I could see where the Lakers and Celtics and flying from one side of the country to the other, there was probably a lot of chess matches going on in those airplanes, and it had to be kind of interesting. And I could see where it would be fun to try to guess and decide and make the right moves. And yet at the end of the day, got to take care of the ball. You can't make plays that go from a good rebound to a turnover to a basket, or a loose ball to a 3. You can't make those. And at the end of the day, sometimes the ball's got to go in the basket. So that's what we're kind of hoping for, and figuring we'll do a better job of.
And we'll, looks like we'll wrap it up with one from Matt Charbonneau.
Tom, when we talk about the rivalry in the traditional sense, that I'm wondering what it was like there last night, when a night that would normally be that place that have been buzzing, you know, they're playing for a championship, it's a rivalry, but to do it in that setting, how odd it was. And then also to turn right back around and know everything that's still on the line and you're building 2 days later. Does it affect the way it feels playing in a rivalry game, or do you felt like it did at all?
No, I'm sure, you know, and Juwan hasn't been through it really as a coach, but well, a little bit last year. But you're right. I mean, it's completely different, especially when there's things on the line. It was surreal last night. You know, it was just bizarre. I mean, it's you play a lot of games and you realize at Purdue it's going to be this, at Indiana, but your rivalry game, and to have, I don't know, a couple hundred people in the stands or whatever, it was strange. I'm not sure either team, you know, loved it, but it is what it is, and we got to do what we got to do. And like I said, we're one day from getting all 20 of our games in, and that's there's a lot to be said for that for our players. You know, it was one of our goals, one of our missions. We found a way to get it done, and somehow, some way, we're going to make sure the rivalry still heats up. But it's not the same when there's a couple hundred people compared to 15,000.
Coach, that appears to be all the questions that we have.
Appreciate you guys, and I'll see you Sunday.
All right, everyone, we are joined by Josh Langford now. If we could go to questions in the chat, we will just start it right up with Josh. And I believe first question will go to Chris Solari.
Hey, Josh, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Coach talked about the potential for talking with you and your family about what comes next. And obviously it's a weird senior day because you've already gone through it. What does come next? What would you consider coming back for another year? And how much after the course of the last year and fighting to get back on the court, does it feel, how good does it feel to play basketball like you are right now?
I mean, it feels great to play basketball. And because of that, you know, I just try to focus in on where I'm at right now. Especially with the way our season is going right now, we have to be, you know, all hands on deck. There's no need to be trying to think about anything but the task at hand. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now with that. And so, you know, once the opportunity comes for me to, you know, start thinking about those things, I think about those things. But right now, all I'm really thinking about is just, you know, doing the job for my team and just trying to, you know, get this win coming up on Sunday. And then, you know, just going from there.
As a follow to that, did you ever at any point, you know, whether it be during the recovery from the surgeries or last spring when you were reconsidering everything, did you ever think you'd be playing 30 minutes a game or 30 plus, almost 40 minutes a game sometimes?
Nah, not really. Especially early on, you know, in my rehab process, you know, just because I wasn't sure, you know, would I still be able to play, you know, this, and I'm referring to before I actually got a chance to get on the court and start doing basketball like things, you know, when I was early in my rehabilitation process. And so, you know, I never seen myself doing a lot of the things that I'm doing. And so, you know, it's just a blessing, man.
We'll go next to Lindsey Huddleston.
Hey, Josh, good to see you. Good to see you. In this particular case now, despite Chris's pretty good question about the future, can you reflect on your career games versus Michigan, in particular your experience at Chrysler Arena, if you had to kind of summarize it all together, what it's been like playing these rivalry games? Oh, it's been great to play, you know, in the rivalry. You know, being from Huntsville, Alabama, I didn't know much about the rivalry. I mean, I knew some about it, but I didn't follow it as much. And so coming in, you know, as a Southern guy, not really being too much involved in the rivalry, knew about it. But, you know, a lot of my teammates, you know, they're from the Midwest or they're from Michigan. And so, you know, they kind of just grew up in that rivalry, similar to the Alabama-Auburn type rivalry that I experienced back at home. So, you know, being able to be a part of that rivalry, you know, it's an honor, man. You know, that's something I'll be able to just share with my kids. You know, hopefully my grandkids and my great grandkids. You know, it's just an honor to have that under my belt as a college athlete. Yeah, just a quick follow-up that just the psychology of a rivalry. What is it feeling like to say, hey, I'm not from here, but I'm going to jump all in, that you find yourself just kind of getting all into it, even though you didn't have a history with it? Well, because I'm a part of my team. I'm on part of Michigan State's, you know, team. And so because I'm on the team, you know, I'm playing as if I'm from Michigan. You know, we're all connected, we're all one. So, you know, I may not be from Michigan, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm a part of the team. And so, you know, I'm gonna play as if I am from Michigan. Got it. Thank you, Josh.
We'll go next to Matt Charbonneau.
Hey Josh, how are you feeling physically? I know the last couple of games, you know, it's been a tough schedule, and Thomas talked about how difficult it's been on you. Where would you say you're at right now physically, just with the way this final stretch is going?
I mean, I think physically it has been somewhat of a challenge, particularly because, you know, this is almost kind of new to me because I haven't done this in 2 years. But I feel like we've been really managing it well. I think coach has been really good. My trainer, my strength coach, I mean, we've all been really good with it. And, you know, we're just trying to take it in stride. Like, this is still unknown territory for me because I mean, if you really think about it, I haven't been in this type of position before. So, but, you know, in terms of my health, I feel good. It's just
now it's a matter of just me managing it and being smart about the things that I do.
Do you think it's affected you performance-wise at any point these last few games? Maybe just kind of running out of gas at times, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been a challenge. You know, and like I said before, I haven't necessarily experienced, you know, this type of position before, you know, coming back, you know, after 2 years of being out. So, you know, it's definitely been challenging.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah.
Time for a couple more. We'll go first to Kyle Austin.
Yeah, Josh, just wondering, you're listed as a senior. You did senior day last year. Coach told us you weren't really interested in the whole ceremony again. Just wondering, I mean, are you thinking of tomorrow or a Sunday, I should say, is like another senior day, or where's kind of your head at with that?
Oh yeah, it'd be a senior day for me. Because this time I'm playing, and so, you know, it'll definitely be something that, even though it's not going to be fans here, it's still going to be something that I'm going to really, you know, hold on to and cherish.
We'll go next to Chris Solari.
A little bit along those lines. What was senior day like last year for you when you weren't able to play?
It was tough. It was tough on me. You know, just because, like you said, I wasn't playing, and, you know, I just never seen myself being in that position, you know, in terms of, you know, coming out on my senior night in the boot. Definitely was challenging for me, but it also was, you know, just, you know, something great as well. Just to know that, you know, I hadn't made it this far and I didn't give up. You know, I easily could have threw in the towel and, you know, not been a part of the team, or just, you know, gave up all in all. So, you know, it was kind of mixed emotions, but at the end of the day, it really was challenging for me.
What do you want the next few days and weeks to be like?
What do I want them to be like? I want them to be great. You know, I want to go get a win, you know, and then I want to move on from that. So that's just how I see it.
Then we'll wrap it up with one from Audrey Dahlgren.
Joshua, I don't want to say that there's extra added motivation because, you know, you always want to make the NCAA tournament and play in the postseason. But for you personally, I mean, the last couple of years you've sat on the bench when, you know, the team has made these deep runs. And so what's it like now for you to see, you know, you're on the cusp of making it happen and you're actually getting to play?
I mean, it's unbelievable just to be able to be playing again. You know, obviously it may not be ideal the position I'm in, but at the end of the day, I'm back playing, and, you know, I have a second chance. Well, really, yeah, a second chance at, you know, playing the game that I love. So, you know, regardless of the circumstances, I'm just going to give 110% because, you know, it was a point in my life where I didn't know if I would be able to put a jersey back on. So that's just kind of my mind frame about it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Josh, that's all we have for you, my friend.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Max.
Thanks, Max.
We'll see you all this weekend.
Thanks, Max.